We're just so much better when Sam is on point and she's aggressive. We're just a better team. We spread the floor better. I love it when she's aggressive and doesn't pass up shots. We're just a better team with Sam playing like that. And I thought also Aari, because we know, well, going back to Sam, we know Sam is always going to be constant, consistent on defense. But when she's doing that and she's looking for her shots and she's hitting them and looking for her drives, we're just a better team overall. So I want her to continue to do that. But I thought the game started also with Aari. Aari knew Sam was hot. She's penetrating in the paint under control, especially the first half, and finding Sam. So all those things, I think Aari as a point guard really ran our team. To me, this was Aari's best first half of the year, and I think one of her best games, besides the turnovers in the second half.
What does this senior class mean to you?
A lot. Aari is so much. We were talking at half court, and after the game, and she came to Arizona, took a chance on Arizona. Wasn't sure what Arizona was going to be like. Didn't know a lot about Arizona. Arizona hadn't been good for a long time. She took a leap of faith and she chose us, and from Washington. And I think that we've done a lot of special things here together. So definitely it's special. I love her. I've known her since she was a sophomore in high school. Have a great relationship with her, and it's been fun being a part of her journey. It's been fun watching her blossom and change and evolve into the woman she is today. So that's been really, and they're listening to me from the door. They're peeking in, being nosy. But she's just evolved into, great person, great player, just all those things, and just a tremendous leader for our program. So it left her legacy here at Arizona and continues to leave it.
Next question, PJ Brown, Arizona Daily Star.
Hi, Adia. So you have this record-breaking day on the three-point shooting, which is something that you've been working on all season. It's been there, but it just hasn't consistently shown. What does a game like this tell the nation that, hey, we can do this, we can, plus, you're known for your defense, but now you're doing something different, you're showing something different.
Well, I don't love the inconsistency. Last game, awful from the three-point line. This game, then hot. But I like the fact that we're able to do it. A year ago, we weren't able to do it. We wouldn't have had a hot game like this. So we're better. I love the fact that we're sharing the ball. When I look at a stat line, I see we have 20 assists on 27 field goals. In the first half, we're 11 assists on 14 field goals. That's the kind of offense I want. So I'm proud of 12 for 16. 75%. That's great. And then the free throws, 90%. That's what we need to do. And that's the work we put in at. We do skill work all year long. We get in, we get shots up. So I think that stuff's starting to show. I want us to continue to be that confident because to beat great teams, we have to be able to do that. Now, defensively, I thought second half was not good, especially in the third quarter. So although we were shooting the ball better, I don't think we were defending as great, especially second half. But we're going to soon put it together where it's 40 minutes of great basketball on both ends. But I'm proud of the way we shot the ball for sure.
Next question, Doug Feinberg, AP.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you.
Hi.
So a lot of teams in February tend to sort of hit that wall a little bit, knowing that there's the postseason after that and just a lot of grind. This year, especially with all that's going on off the court, it seems more teams are that way. How are you guys sort of bucking that trend and playing really good basketball right now and sort of don't look fatigued and don't look mentally tired at all?
Well, and I'm hoping we're not fatigued because we were on pause for a few weeks. So that was tough. I'm not having a game for a couple of weeks and me being out for a week. So I was worried about us being rusty and just not being in game shape. But then after that, we've had some good wins. The win at Oregon gave us confidence. And then these two wins here this weekend. But I think that for us, we're on an upward trajectory. We're playing better. Our offense has improved. But I think a lot of that's coming from the work we're putting in we're putting in skill work. We're still doing a lot of those little things. We're still working on our fundamentals. And it's starting to show because it's paying off now. We're able to shoot the three. You think of the first half of the season, no one guarded us. They would have 10 feet in the paint, worried about Aari. But now we're able to spread the defense a little bit. So I want us to continue to do that. We definitely haven't hit a wall. I think we're playing some of our best basketball. It didn't show for 40 minutes today, but we're having a glimpse of it. And I think, we're just getting better. And that's the main thing. We want to go like this in February because we know that this is an important part for us to get momentum going. And I think we're doing that. And it starts with the way Aari's playing. It starts with our seniors. Aari, Sam, Trinity. They're the catalyst for all that. And I think it's been contagious. And I'm just proud of our team effort. And because, honestly, Doug, what's scary is during the season, this point in the year, when you have some good wins, like we played well at Oregon, then we beat a really good Washington State team on Friday. What worries me is like then on Sunday you can tend to relax and you look ahead, and I'm just trying to just talk about not looking ahead, one game at a time, because you're seeing upsets all around the country, especially after good wins. So us just being consistent and getting better, because it's about us. It's not about winning right now. It's about getting better each game and improving on something. And I think we're doing that.
If I can follow up, is it just easier to focus on one game at a time, knowing that you're only as good as your next COVID test, so to speak?
Yeah, no, that's funny. Yeah, it's not funny, but it is. Yeah, for sure. Because you don't know you're playing until like this morning. Like we didn't know we were playing until this morning. So I think it's just hard. We definitely want to narrow our focus. We don't look ahead. We're not looking ahead at Stanford. We're looking at Washington today. We're looking at Cal for next Friday. Yes, one game at a time, because you just don't know. And I think for us, it's making sure we're safe, talking about not letting our guard down because of COVID. Like one mistake, especially right now, it's senior day. People have families coming in, so it's a danger. It compromises our bubble. It's dangerous. So just talking about being safe, being smart, because we want to play basketball. We had a scare, being in quarantine and missing games a couple weeks ago. So we've learned our lesson, and now it's time to be really smart, buckle down, and get ready to play some good basketball for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Next question, Javier Morales, All Sports Tucson.
Hey, Adia, what does your gut tell you about any of these three seniors coming back next year? What are your feelings about that right now? Possibility.
Someone will come back. Not sure who, but someone will. I don't think I'll be 3 for 3. I'll be 1 for 3 or 2 for 3. I'm pretty confident that I'll come with. And it was funny because Trinity was crying. I said, Trinity, no need to cry. You can come back next year. We can do it all over again. So they were kind of laughing, but we will get someone back. Just not sure who yet, but had some talks. But for me, I can't talk a lot about that because obviously I'm going to be. I said they're my biggest recruits. Those three are my biggest recruits, but I don't want them to think about that. I want them to have a clear mind, just focusing on this year. But we will have someone back. I'm positive.
And just on a personal level, what are your thoughts about Sam, what she brings to your team, her personality?
I mean, Sam is like everything to us. She is a tremendous leader off the court. She is our SAC president here. She's a role model. She's a perfect student. She's a leader in the locker room. She's someone who always tells her teammates where to go, what to wear. She keeps us, on point. On the court, she's selfless. I have to tell her, hey, you need to be a little bit more selfish. Like today, you need to look for your shots. Great teammate. She's one of the most underrated defenders in the country. If you watch her and you look at the little things she does, they just don't always show up in stat sheets. But if you watch her, and all the Pac-12 knows she's a tremendous defender. She locks down her opponent every single game. And it can be the 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5. She's special. And, she's our team captain. So I can't say enough about her, and I would love to coach her for another year. And also Sam, just close to my heart. Like she's someone who came here when we were bad. We were like 300 in RPI when Sam came here. She could have gone to Michigan. She could have gone to other schools. She chose us when she didn't know what Arizona was going to be like. And for her to take that leap of faith, and she was sitting on the court crying numerous times the year when we were 6 and 26 or whatever. We were awful. But she just stuck with it, and she's just gotten better, and she's one of the reasons why we're good. And just love coaching her.
Next question, David Kelly, KVOA.
Hey, Adia, does it speak to the importance of coaching when you analyze the flip that we've seen in these two programs? I mean, you left Washington, they were a Final Four team. Now they're at the bottom of the conference. You came to a team that was at the bottom of the conference. Now you're at the top of the conference. Does that speak to the importance of coaching? Because we don't necessarily see those types of flips a lot on the men's
I
side.
don't think it's coaching. I think it's the players. So at Washington, we got Kelsey Plum, Chantel Osahar, Talia Walton. We had some good players. I mean, at Washington, 2 All-Americans. Yes, you have to coach them, but without great players, you're not going to win, regardless of how much skill development you do. So, Aari has evolved. Aari's turned into one of the best players in the country. But she's done that. She's put the hard work in. We just put her in situations where she can be successful, but it's on her. She's done a great job. And I think that she's helped build that legacy, and other players want to play with great players. And then here, she was in a different role, but she embraced the role. She took the team on her back for a long time. So I think that that's just the person and the player she is. But you need good players. I mean, you can run the same offense, but when you have better players, the offense looks a lot better. So it's definitely the players. But if you would have asked Sam, Aari, or myself 3 years ago if we'd be a top 10 team with a chance to win the Pac-12, we would all say, don't know about that. But they've done that. So, they're credit to them. They've turned the program around, and they've done a good job. I'm just along for the ride with them.
And with what you just went through with the COVID, and based on your statement earlier here today about obviously inviting the parents in and that kind of piercing the bubble, was there any thought not to do that, not to bring families in for this weekend?
Yeah, there was a lot of thought about that, but it's hard for me to do that with these three kids that I love, and their families haven't got to see them all year. So it was a chance I was willing to take. Just educating them on, okay, I know your parents here, but it's not time to go out to dinner. It's keep your mask on, those things. But I just feel like it's not fair. I mean, Aries and Sam and Trinity, especially Aries and Sam, they've been here, has helped build this program. So the least I can do is have their parents come to a game. I just felt like it was the right decision. It does compromise us a little bit, but I just felt it was the right thing to do because they're not getting what their true experience should be.
Next question, Michelle Vopel, ESPN.
Yeah, Coach Barnes, forgive me for asking this because you just said sort of you want to talk about just the next game, but do you talk to your team very much just from your experience as a player and a coach about the NCAA tournament? Because you guys would have had that opportunity last year and didn't. Do you guys talk about that at least a little bit? And obviously the reveal is coming out tomorrow, and that'll, that's sort of a buzzy thing, but do you talk about it just a little bit with your kids?
We have at certain points we've talked about it, but it's not something we talk about now at all, because I think they all know that we're going to be there and we'll put ourselves in a good situation. So we have not talked about it a lot, because in our minds and in my mind, if we take care of business, that stuff takes care of itself. So we win every game we're supposed to. We're going to be in the right situation at the right time. And I just believe it happens for a reason if we do what we're supposed to do. So don't talk about it in that sense, not like, our seeding. Don't talk about that at all. Just talk about winning every game. And that's what we can control, because it may be 4 games, it may be 0. We don't know with COVID. So I say treat every game like it's your last game, not knowing what the future holds. But I think the talk we had last year was that we feel like we would have had a strong tournament run. We really do. We were confident. We were playing great basketball at this time last year, and then it ended. So I think from my perspective, that does affect us a little bit because we don't have that experience from last year. So that's the thing in my mind that I don't talk about, that I know could be a disadvantage. But I think this team is mature and they're ready. And I think that the first thing they want to do is win the Pac-12 title. And then they know that we'll go to a tournament, so they want to just win one game at a time to get there. I think that we're more mature in the sense we're not overlooking people. Last year, I think we would have probably overlooked Washington at this point. We did it against Cal. We beat Stanford last year, and then we lost the next game against Cal. So I think this year we're more mature and more focused on what we need to do, which I think is better. So we'll start to talk about the tournament after we finish, this season.
And you mentioned that you don't know for sure which seniors are coming back, but if Aari doesn't, if she goes to the draft, what ways has she gotten better this year to make her an even better WNBA prospect than she was last year?
So she shoots the 3 much better this year. She runs her team much better, better assist to turnover ratio, just a better floor general, better at recognizing what the defense is doing to her. For an example is if we're running a wing on ball, she recognizes if they're going under, if they're going over, or if they're icing her, things she didn't recognize in the past. So just a better overall player, leader, and point guard. And she has to be able to do that in the pros. But I think I've watched that evolution. And the other thing that's really important for her leadership is she's not afraid to talk about the hard stuff. In the past, she would have just kind of done what she do, like she would have done her job. This year, she's not afraid to say, hey, you need to do this better. Or, hey, we don't allow that in the program. We're different things of accountability, which is a leader. Because on great teams, you have that. And we didn't have that last year. I think we have more of that this year. So when you're point guard, who everybody respects, is able to say that or say, hey, no, we don't do that here. Hey, pick this up. That means a lot. And our team follows her. So she's grown in that sense. So she's going to be a great point guard in the WNBA. And she works her butt off. She gets better. Her ceiling is unlimited. And I think whoever gets her is getting a special person and player.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Even though I would be recruiting her to come back, I don't think Ari's gonna be the one coming back. But I'm gonna try. Though at the end of the season, I'm gonna go for it.